everybody. Welcome to TMI Live. Too much information with Moondog at our new later time at, it's for me, local time here in the Pacific. It's 6 p.m. And to answer a question that Vadim posted, do I eat dinner late? No, usually I've been trying to eat dinner early. So this is going to kind of interfere with my usual dinner time. So I'll have to work out my schedule. But it's a little bit of a shift on my end. But hopefully better for you guys, and hopefully also better for the guests that I've been trying to get on the show. It's a little tough when I'm doing a live stream at 3 in the afternoon, because a lot of folks, work 9 to 5 that I want to get as guests, so they're not available until after 6 o'clock typically. In this case, my guest is going to be calling in to us from San Diego, so same time zone as me, so that'll work out, but also better for folks on who have guests are on the Central, Eastern, and of course even the Mountain time zone. So anyway, I'm curious about. I see a lot of folks have already joined the side chat, which is great. Let me know on the side chat right now which time zone you guys are in. Just because I'm curious. I know a couple of you guys out there. I think I know which time zone you guys are in, but just post it up there, Eastern or Central, and I know TJ's out in Australia, so I don't even know what time it is over there. So why don't you just post what time it is where you're at? The current time zone is probably not going to be all that useful information to me. Here we go. TJ Fishing just posted up that it's 10 in the morning for him. So actually having a show later actually works out also if I have any guests from down under or in Asia, because this would be a much easier time to get on than, let's say, it's 7:30 in the morning for folks, since I would have had it earlier. I know a lot of folks have an early start to the day, but still, it's a lot easier to be on a show when you're a little more awake at 10:30 in the afternoon or 10 in the morning than 7 in the morning. That's for sure. And post up there which times, what your current time is. So Joseph says he's on Eastern time, which is 3 hours ahead of me. So that'll be 9 for you. And then Roland says he's on Pacific, so same time zone as me. And let's see, who else is there? Portia Speaker says Eastern Daylight Time, so that'll be 9 o'clock for him. And I know Vadim's on the same time zone as me. We got a question here from Jesse. I'd like to discuss the MOA red dots, that actually means and how it evolved over the years. And he's at 8 p.m. in Arkansas. So yeah, if you'd like to talk about MOA red dots. Now, the reason that this came up is because we were communicating back channel on Messenger about various red dots, and I was mentioning that I have a 3.0 MOA red dot, and he was saying it was kind of large, and I was saying that's actually kind of common now. 2 MOA dots were much more common earlier on, especially when red dots first came out. And this is actually before my time in terms of shooting and using red dots. But some of the first red dots, as I recall, were, I forget if it's German or Swedish, the company. They were tube red dots, and they were, and those were very small, 2 MOA dots. And those kind of dots are really useful for precision shooting, because a lot of the early smaller red dots were made actually for pistols, not so much for rifles. And were used in target shooting. Also, they were some of the reflex sights were used for special operations, so that they could basically, so SWAT and counter terrorists could use them indoors, because shooting with iron sights are great, as long as there's enough light to see your actual post and rear sights. But as soon as you're getting indoors and it's dark, it's kind of hard to see. So red dots were very useful. Smaller dots, of course, this aim small, miss small is the philosophy. But if you're using red dots on pistols nowadays, you're drawing very fast, and having a very small dot is great if you have the time to raise up your pistol. If you're doing target shooting, you're raising it up, and you're taking your time to look, and oftentimes got one eye covered up with a patch or whatever. Great. if you have the time to do that. But if you're doing a quick draw and you're using it for either action shooting or combat, you want a nice fat dot that's easy to see. So large dots are becoming a lot more common for action shooting, whether 3-gun or what have you. Some guys are even shooting 6 MOA dots. At least I started to see some pistol red dots as big as 6 MOA. But again, it's your own personal choice. One of the ways you can get around if you have a very small dot, like a 2 dot, is that you just crank up the intensity a lot, and it starts blooming. Then yeah, it's much more visible. But some of the to get longer battery life, you want to set it at its lowest possible power level that you can get it and still be visible. And a lot of the numbers that you see on red dots that they claim 50,000 hours or what have you, that's only when they have it like really low, practically, off, or I'm sure that's what they're measuring it by, right? I that's my guess as a marketing person, that yeah, you kind of hedge your statements, and it's a little bit of hyperbole and saying, yeah, we have 50,000 hours as long as you have it at setting number 1. Yeah. As soon as you get it up to setting number 6 or 10 or what have you, the maximum, yeah, all bets are off in terms of runtime. So hopefully, again, I tend to ramble on, give you too much information, but then again, that's what this show's about. Okay, since we already got started, let me just give a quick plug to, whoa, that's really strange. Okay, let me add this to stage. There we go. I don't know what that was on screen for a second there. But let me plug our sponsor, our longtime sponsor here, which is Aura, the online cybersecurity company that I use to help me protect me on the web. They've got a whole suite of services that they offer you for one low monthly fee. Some of the key ones are credit monitoring. So, if suddenly your credit score drops, or and they'll also monitor whether or not you have some unusual movements or withdrawals out of your accounts. They'll just flag you. They'll just send you an email, a text alert saying, hey, we saw some unusual activity. Also, they have spam blockers, and they have a great service that I really love, and I would keep on talking about it because it just blew me away how useful it was, and that is data broker removals. And these are companies, data brokers are companies that buy and sell our personal information, email addresses, physical addresses, sometimes phone numbers. And that's how marketing companies get your email to send you spam email or spam calls or spam texts. So they buy your information from these data brokers, and they can legally send you, well, I don't know if there's the whole legalities of it, but there are companies and they legally have this information because at some point you must have agreed to a company that they can get your information, whether you filled out a form somewhere, entered a contest, who knows where, that these companies got your information. Sometimes some of it is public. If you enter your there's a lot of public information about us on the web, just from if you go to your municipal databases, and you can look up people by their name, Google yourself. Anyway, these data brokers have a lot of information, and if you get yourself removed from them, you'll get far less spam emails, spam texts. And Aura, with just a click of a button, sends a formal request that asks to have your data removed, and they'll remove it. And I got myself off of like 30, 40 data brokers. And hey, and the kicker is, if you use my link, aura.com/moondog, you can use them for 14 days for free. Try them out, and you can even try out the services. Oh, and they also have a VPN. So that's a virtual private network. So if you're on any public Wi-Fi, it creates a encrypted communication between you and the Wi-Fi. And that helps protect you from nefarious activities, sniffing, things like that. So yeah, try them out. They're a really great service. r.com/moondog. Okay. Here's a little comment from Porsche Speedster. Jesse, if you have astigmatism, need glasses to correct. And that's a comment from Jesse. He has astigmatism and bad glare around the dot. Yeah, that's a thing. Some folks find green dots to be less, to be a clearer and affects their astigmatism less. For whatever reason, for me, red dots are clearer than green dots, but again, everybody's eyes are different. So I know some folks out there, that's the reason why green dots are so popular. Plus, for the most part, green tends to pop out much more clear in terms of standing out from the background more than red to me. But again, the flip side is red is, to me, in my eyes, sharper, but it is what it is. All right, so here's our early clue. The contest giveaway today is because last week my show got yanked by YouTube because of copyright issues having to do with the footage that I was showing in the background of Demon Slayer, and I wasn't able to give away the prizes last week. So we're gonna give away the prizes again this week. These are EVIC, and that's the biggest online airsoft retailer in the country. They're giving away they're basically like mini stuff sacks. They're really useful. You can throw stuff in there. They're nylon. They're little tote sacks, and they're official airsoft sacks. And I don't know why they put airsoft sack on there, but yeah, they're great for storing things. Just throw things in and keep yourself organized. Essentially, like little stuff sacks for if you go camping but they're so super useful. So here's the clue, and this is going to be super easy, I'm sure, from a lot of folks out there. If you know this company, put a hashtag and their name on the side chat, and you'll be automatically entered into the giveaway tool, and we're going to draw a winner at the end of the show. All right, so let's get into the new videos that were posted this week. For some of you may have seen these. This is a review that I posted of CV Life's newest scope. It's called the Bear Mite, and it is a 6-24 by 50. So it's a little bit on the smaller, reasonably sized objective. I know a lot of longer range scopes go to 56. Adds greater. The bigger the lens in the front, the more light it can gather. The trade-off, of course, is the bigger the objective, the more the glass, the heavier it is. So this is pretty much, it used to be the standard sized 6-24 were about this size, so 50, and it has Japanese ED glass, and I can attest to the fact that it really does make for very color accurate view. Now, it does get a little bit dark and milky towards the high end, and the low end, you see a lot more vignetting, and you don't the exit pupil doesn't go all the way to the outer of the tube. So there's a lot of black around the outer edges at the low end. So there's kind of the trade-offs. But the reason it's a trade-off is because this is also a very affordable scope at around $250. So usually you don't get Japanese ED glass and all the features, and actually pretty nice turrets for at least double the amount. So that's the big thing about the CV Life Bear Mite. And it goes down to 20 yards in terms of the parallax focus. So here's a little short from that review video. Now let's bring up our magnification about halfway to 12 power and take a look through the scope. You can see it's quite a little bit more of an abusive test here. This is the nipple twister test coined by my buddy Cyclops Joe. And what we're going to do is we're just going to turn the heck out of this turret for a good 20-30 seconds and see if it will go back to its original starting point when we dial the turrets back to 0. All right, let's turn this elevation turret back to 0, and now our windage. Hey, we're right back where we started. That's pretty good. Now I know it's a little hard to see on screen. It's a little more clearer in my the full version, which is horizontal. And if you're looking at this on the phone, you can see that it pretty much goes back. Maybe a fraction of an inch off, but part of that is also the stand that or the table I'm on it's wood, so it's not I'm not shooting off of solid concrete, but it's pretty darn close, and I'm gonna say yeah, it went back. And for most of the scopes I've reviewed, it usually passes. A couple of really cheaply built budget scopes have not passed the nipple twister test. But to me, even some of my older, nicer scopes, Like I wouldn't do this with some of my older Bushnell scopes. It just wouldn't. It won't. It won't pass the test. I mean, some of my older scopes were great scopes for the time, but modern turrets are really getting really good. And this is for a budget scope. The fact that you could do that to the scope, and it goes even somewhat close to where it started, no less than actually going back to where it started. That's actually pretty good. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on my Moondog Reviews channel, here's a little change of pace. I reviewed some tactical snacks, and these are the sour gummies. They're from a veteran-owned company called Tactical Snacks, and I met up with them at SHOT Show earlier this year, and they were giving out their first run of their watermelon Overwatch. It's sour gummies, and their big claim to fame shtick was they are low glycemic index. I wouldn't say they're low carb. Well, they're essentially low carb. They have about 80 calories per pack. So they lower the sugar spikes that you get from eating typical candies, whether it be sour gummies, Sour Patch, or Skittles. And so you have a much more even amount of sugar that hits your system over a longer period of time. And they also came out with a high protein version. But they sent me two of the newest flavors, which is their green apple rattle and their breach peach. And I had some folks try them out at the range. So here's one of the folks that I had them try. Rather than watch me just chew these gummies and give you my opinion of how they taste, I thought it would be useful to get a range of opinions. So I brought the snacks to a gun range and asked the folks there what they thought of them.
It's got good flavor. I like the sugar that's coating on the outside. It's got good texture. It's kind of like melting in your mouth. It doesn't make you like overly chew for like a million times, but it tastes really good. Flavor is spot on.
Yeah, its claim to fame is it's actually low carb in general. The whole pack is only like 80
Is there
calories.
Artificial flavoring, or is it?
I don't know.
Okay. Nice,
what does it say on the package?
Let's see. I don't think it says.
Yeah, and I was looking at the package. It's mostly natural stuff because I didn't see any weird chemical names that you have in like other candies.
So these are essentially just candy. Cool.
Yeah, and these are folks served by a veteran-owned company. I got hooked up with them at SHOT Show. They wanted to get people's opinions.
These are good.
So these are random guys that were at the range. They were testing out I don't remember if it was a bullpup AR, but it was certainly, I think it was a SIG. It was a SIG AR that looked a little bit unusual. And so I asked them to try it. They never tried it before. Don't know them, but they tried them and they liked them. And pretty much that was the case with everybody that I had a chance to try them. Some of the only sort of somewhat negative comments I got were just purely like they didn't like peach or they didn't like green apple as a flavor. So, but that's going to be the case. I'm normally not an artificial peach kind of guy either, but this peach actually didn't taste too bad. I like peaches in general, but artificial peach flavored candies, that's not my jam. I'm much more into the sour apple, lemons, and I actually like their original flavor, watermelon. So these are the nearest flavors. Okay. And if you are interested in picking up any of these snacks, I believe they may be, let me know if they're available in your neck of the woods in terms of any gun stores you happen to see them, or any sporting goods stores or markets. I know they're available on Amazon. I posted links on my in my review, links to my website, moondogindustries.com. And in the written review, there's links to Amazon, so you can pick those up, or you can go just Google tactical snacks. And I think you can order from them directly. But again, I don't know if they distribute through Amazon as their primary distribution channel, but they come in boxes, and now they come in 3 different flavors. They actually, I think they might even be releasing 2 new flavors. I saw a mention of raspberry and strawberry. And Jesse says, it's hard to find good tasting candy for diabetics. Yeah, this is more diabetic friendly. Again, it depends if you have diabetes, you have to, just measure your blood sugar and take that insulin as needed. But you do need candy sometimes when you get a low. So I totally understand that. What's great about this is that it doesn't really give you an immediate, a super high spike, but they usually, if you have a low, you want to get juice rather than candy. But hard candies are common too. These are great if you don't want to spike your blood sugar, but still have energy from carbs. This is a great choice. All right. So on my Moondog Go channel, which is my travel channel, I posted my walkthrough of when I was at New York earlier this year, this summer, at their Nintendo store. And I found out it is the 20th anniversary of the opening of the Nintendo store. So I didn't realize it was already 20 years. Wow. Okay. So here's a little short from that visit. At the Nintendo store in New York, people are waiting in line to play the Switch 2. Now, I don't know if that's still the case. Bear in mind, this was I filmed this in late June, practically July, early July, and the Switch 2 had just come out, I believe, in May, so it's relatively new. But the fact that there was lines of people just to play it, but part of it is because they wanted to play it on the big screen, because they also had other little kiosks around there that you could try out the Switch 2. But of course, everybody wanted to play it on the big screen on the wall, so there was a line of folks who were waiting their turn to play a game and have it projected on the wall. And so far, my kids have been asking me for a Switch 2, not super begging me. To be honest, the Switch 1, even though I believe it's only 1080p is the maximum resolution, it still looks pretty darn good, even on my 60-inch TV that we have as our living room TV, and it still looks pretty darn good, and as good as the 4K games for the most part. When I'm looking at it, it looks as good as the 4K games that we're playing on the Xbox or the PlayStation. And even though it's 1080p, it's still pretty darn good. Anyway, we have Hillbilly joining us. How are you there, Hillbilly? Thanks again for letting me sharing your StreamYard with me, and really have to give a I really appreciate the help from Hillbilly and getting this live stream going. Okay, so now's the time. I just want to ask for your assistance in coming up with an idea for a video that I'll be posting up on my channel this coming weekend. And I'm going to be posting a test review of this combo of the Discovery Optics MPVO that I previously tested, which is a 2-to-12. And I've decided to try to find, to piggyback on the mount, a O-sight, reflex sight, because I wanted to see, is this as good as an LPVO? Because an LPVO, the whole point of the LPVOs is that you can go down to 1 power, and it mimics shooting with a prism sight, a 1 power prism sight, or shooting with a red dot. At least that's in theory what it is. So when you get to 1, it's pretty darn close to like looking through just plain glass with a illuminated dot is the idea. And the idea of an LPVO is that you can run it even at close range, less than 50 yards, run it even in low light, and you can shoot accurately with it. Or if you have to go long range, or at least longer range, you can bump it up to 4, 6, 8, even 10 power, which is pretty far. I mean, to be honest, most people used to think that a high power scope was 9 to 10 power, and most military snipers train with a fixed 10 power scope. So that is plenty magnification if you know what you're doing, and if you can shoot well, to take down anything up to 600 yards or more, depending on your your skill level and your eyesight. That's in theory. Now, if you use a scope that is optimized for longer range, you can offset it and being able to use it at short range if you have a short range non-magnified aiming system that also works in low light or at night, in which case a red dot. So I piggybacked it, and that's the setup I was testing out to see, does it work as well or better than an LPVO? And in this case, this is the thumbnail that I'm going to go with: reflex plus MPVO, perfect combo. There's another one that I'm going with is O-Sight plus Discovery. But let me know if you can think of a better headline title than that one. Just type it up in the side chat. Perhaps you can. Maybe this is as clear as you can. Or let me know if you think that this is not clear enough in terms of what the intention was of the video. Oh, I see we have our guest joining us in the green room, which is good. So I can move ahead to getting to talking about that. All right, but before we do, let's give you our next clue as to the mystery brand, hopefully this will be pretty evident, pretty easy for those of you out there. So the mystery brand today is the name of the hamburger chain that has restaurants in 120 countries and territories and serves 68 million of these burgers every day. So if you know what this brand is, this company, put in a hashtag and the name of the company on the side chat. And if you're correct, it'll automatically get picked up by the giveaway tool, and we'll do a drawing at the end of the show. So that's your clue. That's your second clue, and I'll have one more clue at the end of the show. All right, so let's get into the rabbit hole. We're going to go down the rabbit hole in the subject matter today. And I'm going to skip a little bit ahead because I actually put a couple more slides in here because I thought that our guest was going to be a little bit later. So I kind of padded the slideshow today, but I'll go through these really quick. And what I wanted to share just briefly with you, because we weren't able to cover some of the stuff last week, was, so yesterday night I picked up a big tub of popcorn to watch Demon Slayer, the movie, and I did a whole show about that 2 weeks ago. So I just want to let you know that I did see the movie. Maybe if you guys are interested, I'll give you a sort of an in-depth movie review of that, and also, maybe answer some questions if you did go see this with your kids or your grandkids and are totally don't understand what's going on. Totally understandable, but I just wanted to give you a little teaser here. This is one of the stills from the movie. It is just visually gorgeous. The amount of detail and animation that went into this movie is just wow. Even if you're not into anime, if you can kind of see that in here, let me just bump this up a little bit, maybe a bigger. Can I get this to a bigger screen? Let me see here. There we go. That is one of the characters falling in an infinitely large castle, and it's very much in that. If you've seen Doctor Strange, what is it? Multiverse of Madness, or if you've seen Inception, it is you've got this world that is both in all directions. There's no up and there's no down, and it's sort of this another dimension, that the demon dimension that these the characters have fallen into, and just visually gorgeous. They combine regular 2D cell animation with 3D animation. It just looked really awesome. And my daughter, who went to go see it, she's not a big Demon Slayer fan like our brother. So she never watched the series. She saw, maybe she's aware of it. But she enjoyed it, even though that she didn't really know a lot of the backstories. Anyway, let's move on, skip a lot of that, and get into the topic at hand, which a few weeks ago we talked about the whole debacle with the remodel of Cracker Barrel. Well, here's the Cracker Barrel that we're all used to, and the big kerfuffle was that they were announcing they redesigned their logo, which we talked about in a previous show, but they made it into something like this. And that's to the right. So the left is what their original Cracker Barrels are like, and the right is where they're moving it into. Well, I have a special guest to talk about that, and I'm going to bring him into the show right now. I'd like to welcome Matt Brady. Matt, can you hear me?
I sure can, Tom. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Okay, so Matt is an architect and a good friend, and I've had your sisters on the show a
Oh,
few months
fantastic.
back. Yes, talking about the Golden Trailer Award. So for those of you who are longtime watchers of the show, Matt is their baby brother, and
Absolutely. How you doing, Tom?
very good.
And
Thank you for joining the show.
of course, and I was just listening. I want to talk to you both about Scopes and Demon Slayer. So it's gonna. We'll have to. Do you mind if can we spend a second on that before we jump
Yes,
over, or do we have
absolutely.
to?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
All right. So first off, what was the scope that Chris Kyle had when he made that like really long shot? And in
You know what? I have to look that up. My guess is he was either shooting a Night Force or he might have been shooting US Optics or a Loophole. Night Force is a very common brand that's used by special forces and the army and by snipers. It's some of the most durable and reliable scopes out there. Really good glass. Kind of expensive, but not as expensive as some crazy expensive European and Japanese scopes.
Okay.
But they are well known for being, I mean, literally bulletproof in terms of. And I've seen some demos that they've done at SHOT Show, so that's I'll find out. But
it's interesting. Yeah.
yeah,
And I was kind
typically.
of curious.
Oh, go ahead.
How did they ever confirm that final shot? I mean, I know like the movie was kind of played up in a different way, but was that shot confirmed? Like, or like how would they ever have done that?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know the definitive answer. My guess is either they confirm it with physically going and finding the bodies later, or maybe having some other team, or they listen into some enemy chatter, and heard that so and so Al Dabubi was killed, or so that they kind of piece two and two together.
Gotcha.
And then later on, when they either gain control of the area again, they could go to the area and find enough evidence to say, well, here's where we were, here's where we think he was, and it looks like somebody got dragged and there was blood or something like that. So I don't know for sure definitively. If somebody knows out there in the side chat, please let us know.
Fire it in there, yeah. And then Demon Slayer, I haven't seen the movie yet, but now I was told it had a $70 million opening weekend. That's like one of the best anime openings ever.
Yeah, I heard it was like already up to like 600 million total.
Oh wow, already? Okay.
For the last week, which is
incredible.
Really good. Yeah.
My kids got me into it, and I watched it with them. I think they were watching it for the second or third time, but I haven't seen the movie yet. So, in fact,
did you watch all of the episodes?
Oldest. I don't know where I watched through that train one, and then I watched another season after that, I think, and then that's where I am. And I think that means I'm caught up. Okay.
Yeah. So the Mugen Train movie had come out, and that used to be the biggest grossing anime film ever. This looks like it's on the way to becoming the biggest grossing one. Who knows? And from what I hear, there's going to be two other movies after this in the same vein, because I don't know if they're going to go. My guess is, like in the Mugen Train, when they released the episodic versions of the movie, where they they also filled in some backstory of things that were going on. So they kind of covered everything that you saw. For those of you guys who are watching and didn't watch Demon Slayer or the movie, that Mugen Train that came out, I think 2 years ago, what they did is they released the movie unusually, and then on the TV series they released that whole season was basically replaying the movie, but they added some additional. I think that's you.
It is. Sorry.
Okay, it's all right. So, but it was worth watching for everybody else who saw the movie, because they added in some extra in the episodes as well, some additional episodes that cover things that happened before the movie, as well as some additional flashbacks of the characters and more that they couldn't fit into the whole movie. My guess is that that's what they're going to do with the Infinity Castle movie, is that next season is going to be fleshing out more of what happened.
Gotcha.
In this movie.
So they'll break this movie apart into a season 2 and then flush it out?
Yeah, that's my guess.
Why not?
Yeah. Because you haven't seen the movie yet, the Infinity Castle movie?
No, I have not seen it.
Okay, so no spoilers.
Next week. No, I'll watch it next weekend with my kids, so it'll be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all in town next weekend, so it'd be good.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So great, good to see you. And so I guess we should get to the topic at hand.
Before we do that though, give folks a little bit of background on you.
Sure. I've been 20 years doing architecture in Southern California, and we do I do tech and life science, and it's with household names like working on projects with Infinity, Celgene, which is now BMS, Turning Point, TPTX, which has also been bought by BMS. BMS buys up a lot of companies down here, but
who's BMS? What does that stand for?
Bristol Myers
okay. Yes.
They buy up. They go around buying up companies, and a lot of the companies I work for get bought by them. But then Qualcomm, some on the tech side. There's a couple companies I'm not allowed to say who I work for, but then there's some tech on the tech side. They don't like you to talk about it, but then ASML, Cymer now ASML, work for them a lot too, building all those laser tin wafer making devices, which is pretty crazy. I don't make those. I just make the clean rooms that they go in. So, but pretty nuts. Pretty fun industry to be in Southern California and doing life science and tech. So, but yeah, so it's just to tell your audience a little bit more on the architectural side. It's kind of a little bit more like on being on the healthcare side. It's a little more technical side of the architecture, which I like because I'm just kind of self-medicating my ADD. Like something that just keeps me, tuned in because it's complicated and there's a lot of moving parts. And I found that because of my attention span was so split over so many different things, I actually needed a career that tracked a bunch of different things. So, so I got to play partly, mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, architect. So I got to put my finger in everybody's business. So that's why I like it. So, but I do have on the side done some restaurants, as you know. I did Moosey's Ice Cream as I think you visited when you were here. I've helped people permit some of their own. Really, that's more of a side passion. When I have friends and family who are trying to put together a restaurant, I do help them with the design of the restaurant. Do a little multifamily too on the side just to keep it fun and interesting. But I'm certainly glad to talk about Cracker Barrel, or even like some what you're talking about, some of the fast food restaurants kind of becoming some sort of a morphed into it's the similar kind of setups, which we could talk about too.
Yeah, I actually loaded up a little bit of a quiz which you could participate in with everybody on the side here. Where I'm going to show you some photos of some of the restaurants, and I want everybody on the side chat as well to try to guess which restaurant that is.
Sure.
Before we get into that though, let me just I believe Jesse may have an answer for your question about which scope that was used. And he said it's the Leupold Mark V HD. Wow. And I do know that they use some units use that. So if I believe that's Chris Kyle's scope. If I believe that's the reason why Jesse wrote that on there.
That's nice. Cool. Good. Thank you. Thanks, Jesse.
And I can say that Leupold also makes some really nice scopes. They're originally they're an Oregon-based company, and they got their start creating optics for surveying equipment.
Huh. That makes sense, actually, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Huh. Now you've eaten at Cracker Barrel
many times. But it was back when I lived in the South, when I was kind of in a band touring around Atlanta, which strangely enough, you came and played in one night. Oh yeah, I jammed in one night. You showed up and just played for a frat party. That was hilarious, and there's Tom. He's picking up a guitar now. He's in the band. So
we could tell stories about Atlanta.
That's right. Oh right, forgot about that.
Yeah, maybe some stories you don't want to share.
No, that's all right. So that was a weird one. Yeah, So Tom is alluding to I don't know, when I got arrested one night in Atlanta.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
a whole nother. That's another
that's
story.
a
That's a
whole nother
long
story.
story.
Nothing bad, just some misunderstandings, some paperwork problems with the car. But yeah, oops, I forgot. Yeah, we have stories.
That I have to definitely get you back onto the show
for sure. I've been, never
now,
convicted, never
fortunately,
incarcerated twice, never convicted.
Now, I heard that there were at least 2 Cracker Barrels in California, and I've been to one of them. It's outside of Sacramento, but I haven't found another one. Is there one in Southern California?
So I just Googled it and I was surprised. Supposedly there's one outside of San Diego in El Cajon, and then there was one up in Riverside. And I want to go on and verify this because it was just my phone. And then there's also like another one somewhere like 120 miles from San Diego. I have not seen. I remember driving past one recently, being like, "Oh, there's a Cracker Barrel," but I don't remember what state I was in. But yeah, I could. If you had told me there were none in California, I probably would have believed you. But because I hadn't really seen any, but I did just Google it and said nearest Cracker Barrel, and it said El Cajon. So what was the big kerfuffle about losing Uncle Ben? Was it Uncle Benjamin? Who is the guy in the logo?
I'd heard it was the uncle of one of the the founder, and the new, it was, of course, it's all these big holding companies. I don't know, like BlackRock-ish kind of companies that bought and they'd seen declining sales for quite a few years, and they hired somebody to come in and freshen things up. It's that's often the case with companies, and their idea was we got to make it a little more modern. And their take on it, I don't know if you had seen any of the I guess you hadn't seen, but let me just bring up
just that image you had. Yeah, I mean, getting rid of the tchotchkes, right? Like feels
not entirely so, because they have them there. And one of the issues was, and I've only seen the new remodels online, so I don't really know what they exactly look like. But one of the things that struck me or rubbed me the wrong way was one of the renderings here, where they sort of abstracted the idea of all the tchotchkes, and they just made like kind of art out of it. Kind of, to me, this looks more like a Crate and Barrel than Cracker Barrel.
Right.
Yeah. So, but that'll roll into what we're talking about, is that this is pretty much a common style choice with a lot of restaurants, sort of corporatizing interior design. But what did you think of Cracker Barrel? When the traditional Cracker Barrel, dark interiors and lots of stuff. And did you eat there? I mean, you said you eat that. You had
back in the 90s and maybe like even some of the aughts. I probably ate in a couple Cracker Barrels. It was like, honestly, I think they were right to freshen it up a bit, like in the paraphernalia on the walls, but I also I think they just gotta, like everybody, and as we jump into like more of the fast food stuff, I think like labor's expensive, and they also have got to keep eye on like how things just get cleaned. Like it's just, even though in this particular case, I think when we look at some of the fast food stuff, I think some of the labor costs are some of it, and they're just trying to focus on how they can move tables and chairs around quickly and get a quick clean through the year, and then and be back in business without too much labor. But I actually like those. I'm probably not going to win too much love here, but I like the freshen up. It's a little cleaner feeling. They got to do something, right? I mean, everyone's, they're not Chapter 11, but like a lot of like the Hooters of the world are going Chapter 11. They're closing stores and trying to bring back a lot of that cheap, easy loan money isn't out there anymore. That was kind of floating some of these companies.
Yeah.
So they got to make moves, and people rebelled, and honestly, like it's probably just good press that people that they were upset about the logo changing, or they're upset about this, and probably drove people in to check it out. So I mean, it's lighter, it's brighter, it's
Yeah,
cheerier.
yeah.
I
I agree with you there. I don't have anything against them going with the like off-white or cream colored walls, or even lightening up in terms of the amount of items on the walls.
yeah,
The logo was a whole nother thing to me. I thought their logo was just really dull and yeah, it's
it
the
was dull.
simplified. Yeah.
It almost
Um,
seemed like a setup dull. Like, let's throw this out there and cause a little bit of like, and even almost blow up like the a story, make a story out of this, and then yeah, because it was just too dull. It was like, you've been making great logos for years, and it's
oh,
like, come
thanks.
on. Yeah, no, they're amazing, and it's just, I was wondering, like, you almost felt like that was phoned in so intentionally, just to almost cause like, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's like to me it was like, I mean, it's okay, fine to simplify it or remove the illustration, but at least make it look like a barrel.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
or
mean,
something. Yeah.
just like if you had paid someone for that, you'd be pretty upset, right? Like, you'd be
Yeah.
like, that. I paid your marketing team how much to come up with like the dumbed down version that like it looks like a third grader could have probably made.
Yeah.
Like, they could just sorry, whoever I'm
Yeah. So
insulting what marketing profile.
we pay you $50,000 to remove the guy and the barrel and just leave the text. Okay,
Yeah,
that was a well spent $50,000.
right, and
So,
it probably was. I mean, it's probably 250,000,
oh
right?
yeah.
Like, I mean, all right, it was already
They-
like an incredible amount of money. But
yeah.
yeah, I wasn't, and like I said, I think they were looking for a kerfuffle. I think they were looking for a little dust up, and a little online dust up, and it was, they played it up, Uncle Benjamin, and bring back Uncle Benjamin, like, I think it's what his name is, right? Am I?
I don't remember.
Uncle
Yeah.
Benjamin. Okay, but yeah. So, but I like the I like it cleaned up, and as long as they've got that little triangle peg game on the table,
They do. But somebody pointed out that they changed the wording on the back of it to be a little, yeah. So they said
you're not a genius if you know there are no more geniuses.
no.
Or what?
They it was like just more of that sort of very encouraging. Yeah, keep on trying rather than you're an idiot if you only get one. That's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. I just thought it had different scales of like genius for one, and then like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't realize it actually got to insulting down at the bottom where it was like, you're an idiot.
Yeah. I would think it was ignoramus. It was or the original version. They changed it apparently for the,
okay.
So yeah.
I bet you had to see there'd be a hot market on eBay for the old ones where it still says ignoramus. I like it.
I still have one of those. Yeah, I had one upstairs. Now, Jesse has said that, but has the food quality or the portion size that I don't know, since neither of us have eaten one recently. I actually like the food there in general. It was one of my go-to spots. When driving around even on the East Coast. So like whenever we'd go into Pennsylvania, I knew that I'd be passing at least one Cracker Barrel on the 80 from New Jersey into Pennsylvania, and we'd always stop there for lunch.
There you go.
So, yeah.
But the portion question is actually a really good question. I didn't do any research on that, but the like the claim jumper, like, not to insult people who love claim jumper, but like the portions are huge, but the food isn't very good. But like people come out there talking, oh boy, like about the portion size, so huge, but like, I don't know. You're just a big old plate of carbs, untasty carbs. Like, it's just, yeah. I mean, people just love the portion thing so much. But I would. That's a good question, Jesse. I think that would be an interesting thing to check on. Did they kind of downsize the portions to become a little more health conscious? That might be even calorie conscious. That might be.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I don't think that's a portion as a formula for success in America. But it's a good idea.
Well, I hope they don't touch any of the recipe for the country fried steak. That's my go-to when I go there. Yeah, I still think it's of the chains, it's probably the best. Denny's totally sucks, too salty, and yeah, not that great. And yeah, I've tried a couple of other, yeah, just not as good.
Yeah, totally. And portion size have changed drastically in Burger King, McDonald's.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and Portia Speedster says they have good waffles and country fried chicken.
Tasty. So yeah, did you want to discuss a little bit about the fast food thing as
Yeah.
well, or
Yeah.
just
Let's talk about that. Do you want to talk about that, or do you want to go into a quiz?
let's do a little quiz.
Okay. All right, everybody. So let me show you this. We'll show you these images and see if you can figure this out. All right. All right, everybody. Where do you think we are? Put on the side chat. Put your best guess. Which restaurant this is?
Can we discuss it out loud a little bit?
Yeah,
or
you can. Yeah. Go ahead.
The red lights. I feel like that's kind of branding something in particular. Maybe not. Chicken. A lot of talk about chicken.
You get some answers already. Panera from 2 folks out there.
Oh, 2 Paneras.
Well, that's
pretty confident.
Yeah. Anybody else want to dare to guess before I would do the reveal? What do you think, Matt?
I was gonna go with like a Red Lobster but the Red Lobster is usually a little darker than that. But yeah.
Well, who knows? I mean traditionally, but who knows if they've done a refresh. Jesse says Applebee's.
Applebee's, that's a good one.
Okay, so ready?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Pick says is going with Wendy's.
Oh wow.
Okay, let's see. And the answer is
KFC. Oh, the word chicken.
Yeah, I would never have thought of this because, like, what are all the other ingredients in there? I guess that's the 21 herbs, or is it 13 herbs, 12? I forget how many herbs and spices there are.
Lots, just lots.
Lots, yes. But I don't think of
spices.
I don't think of bell peppers when I go to KFC, but I guess so. All right, here's the next one. What do you think this is?
I'm still in trouble. I took my wife to like we were going somewhere on Mother's Day, and I just thought I'd pull over and get like a bucket of chicken for going out for for like a pig. And I have never heard the end of this. Like I took my wife like KFC. Oh, I mean, my kids still like. Why are you taking to KFC, Dad? I just wanted a bucket of chicken on a romantic picnic and just never hear the end of it.
Yeah. And then you pulled out the coupons.
Classing it up. Always taking it up a level.
Yeah. So, okay. Pick says McDonald's.
Yeah.
Purchase feature says McDonald's.
Feels like a McDonald's. Those kiosks look like McDonald's kiosks. So feels right. It could be Burger King, Wendy's. I don't know. Go McDonald's too.
You are right. So yeah, the kiosks are a big giveaway in the but up to a point because they were one of the first brands to integrate kiosks. But pretty much the kiosks are becoming, it's all about who fabricates that and puts it together, and they're all starting to look the same in terms of the other brands as they're bringing in kiosks as well. And to your point earlier, you're talking about reducing staffing costs and human costs. That is one of the ways that they're trying to reduce the number of staff that they need at the register. Now, a lot of the McDonald's I go to only have one register. Yeah, they've done away with the 4 or 5 registers.
So when these started first showing up, did you're kind of a techie guy, so I could see you gravitating towards this just for the fun of it. But did you ever want to like buck the system and go to the person anyways?
A couple of times when the kiosks, it's not so. It was when they initially came out. I guess people really wanted to try them, so actually it was shorter to go into the human line,
right?
Than the kiosks. And I actually use the app on the phone to order. Now, I'm probably going to get in trouble about this, but usually, and you can experience, you can commiserate with me. But whenever you go there with the family and the wife, and then they're deciding, and like, I know, well, let's change this. Like, okay, here, I just give them my phone. You decide what you want, and as soon as you're done, hand it back to me, and I'll hit the pay button rather than standing in front of the kiosk or standing in front of a person and then everybody hemming and hawing about changing their mind.
tomato, lettuce, all that. Yeah, hitting the button. Yeah. So just on a side note, just like so, I with a family like my size, so there's 6 of us. Like it's so pricey to eat at McDonald's that
Oh yeah.
it's like $20-$30 more just to stop and eat at a sit down restaurant. So
Yeah.
like I've opted because I'll spend $80-$90 trying to feed our family in McDonald's. It's pretty easy to do. And I at that point I'd just rather spend like 120-130 at a sit down restaurant, like because for most part
Absolutely.
we're not getting drinks, like so it's manageable. So I don't know, the prices are they're not like fast food. It's not as economical as it used to be.
We stopped in at just yesterday. Yeah. We went to Smash Burger. Or
That's a
no,
little higher.
Super
That's a
Duper.
little higher end. That's a little higher end. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then we saw the bill at the end. It was it was Super Duper, not Smash Burger. But it's a Smash Burger style, and I was like, we jaw dropped about like how much we spent for burgers. I'm like, oh gee, yeah, we should have just gone to a regular restaurant. And actually, I found Chili's not too expensive now.
Okay.
To
Cool.
go
Good to
to.
know.
So go check it out.
Put it in the rotation.
Yeah. All right. Here's the next one up. What do you think this is?
I'm on a car like a Carl's Jr. or something. Like I don't know. Colors aren't really giving it away. Fresh sense.
It's kind of unusual lamps. Are they tilted? It looks like
They look like they are. Yeah. But again, I mean, like I was talking about labor wise. I mean, look at you could just get that stuff out of the way and mop. Like everything.
Yeah.
Like you gotta just key with everything, right? I mean, when the McDonald's growing up for us was like that kind of industrial prison look. Like remember like the chairs that were on those arms that would swing in and out. Do you remember those little round spinny chairs that would swing in and out on a metal arm?
Yeah, and super uncomfortable too.
Super uncomfortable. But it was like prison industrial level. But it had fun colors, so you felt like it was kind of fun. It was all yellow and stuff, but like it was. But yeah, no, like this is all easy to move, and I feel all like that sort of like Wendy's. Yeah, Pick says Wendy's. Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah. Oh, I think they're totally right. I think there's a Wendy back there.
Yep.
Wendy's. Yeah. Good eyes.
Right.
Good eyes.
All right. Here's the next one. This is a little tougher. This one looks a little institutional. I'd almost think for a second there I thought, is this a cafeteria at a university because of the U at the side there, but it's not.
Yeah. Well, there's ketchup and mustard on the tables. Like I don't see that too many places. I mean, I would throw this back at another McDonald's. I've seen when I was doing some research for this, there were some pretty clean looking ones in Europe that were Culver's. Okay.
I haven't eaten at Culver's. Is that in the South?
I don't know. I've heard of it. I've never been to one. Well, I guess the big reveal. And I got a question for you after.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Any other guesses from the side chat as to where we're at? Okay, we got one more from Porsche Speedster here. Applebee's. Okay, let's see what this. Ready? Chili's.
God.
I would not imagine this does not look like the Chili's that I go to by any stretch.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But here, let me.
Jesse says Subway. See.
Here.
All right, where are we at? Where are we at now? Burger place. It looks like.
Flame. I see flame. I'm going Burger King just from the word flame, but I wouldn't know. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten it from.
Culver's a Midwest based out of Wisconsin.
I'm going to be in Madison next week, so I'm doing Culver's.
You gotta. Yeah, let me know. Give us a report. Burger King is Porsche Speedster's guess.
Yeah, I'm going with Burger King too.
Pick says Burger King as well.
But it wasn't anything really in the decor. It was just the word flame on the poster. But yeah, I,
Okay,
I mean, like,
you are right. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, look at like they were trying to introduce like more natural materials to give it a homier feel. I mean, I get it. It's very like the wood tabletops, the wood in the ceiling. Yeah, this.
That's a
Oh,
very
yeah,
common contemporary thing,
yeah.
or is it that everybody's sort of mixing materials nowadays with a lot of interior design as well as architecture?
Definitely. I just what's your take on this? Do you like it or
I mean, it's I if it was if it was if it didn't look like everybody else, I would like it. I would say,
yeah?
okay, if this was in the context of the first time seeing someplace like this, like, oh, this is pretty cool. This is very contemporary. It's nice. But when everybody else is doing the same thing, it loses its uniqueness.
Agreed. Everything is starting to feel like an airport kind of lounge, like and
Yeah,
uh, and I know it's all supposed to be like driving the connectivity feeling, but I don't. I agree with you. There's something sterile about it that, and also I hate to say, the sterile and cheap feeling.
yeah. And some of it is because of is it the laminate that they're using?
For sure. On the tabletops is laminate, and some of the wall features are laminates. Now, this feels like a little more old schooly kind of pub feel.
Yeah, this doesn't look quite as modern, but they've opened up a lot of the space too. And I'm actually a little. I've forgotten what I put this slideshow together, but I actually forgotten which one this is.
So I guess what
Pick says
I have
Red
no idea.
Robin.
Okay.
Portia Speedster says cozy, and Jesse says cramped.
We'll have to.
Well, actually, he
Throw
says
it
that he
on.
agrees on Red Robin, so I believe that's his answer.
Oh
What
yeah,
do
can
you,
we zoom in on the mate when? Oh, there is like a kind of a red bird on the menu. Is that
is there where?
like on that white menu? Looks like kind of
Oh,
a
on the
birdie like
right,
thing. I don't know if that's Red Robin's logo or not, but I don't know.
or
I to be honest, I haven't been in a Red Robin.
well, Red Robin actually has pretty decent burgers, but again, kind of
Mm.
expensive burgers from what I remember.
So here's to you for another California guy.
Mm-hmm.
In and Out. Could you ever see them? Doing any of this?
Um, I wouldn't I wouldn't say it would they wouldn't, but knowing the family, I don't think they will,
I don't
because
think they will either.
it's owned by one family and they're rather conservative, and they've been successful in doing the same thing for the last 50 60
Yep.
years. Yeah, it would they want to keep on doing the same thing, so I don't think they'll go this route.
Yeah. And I don't see them putting it in a kiosk either. Oh, Applebee's. Look, you did have it in
Yeah.
there.
So
Oh, cool. Go throw us
yeah.
off. I love it.
All right. Where's this one? Now this looks very, very contemporary, artsy kind of lounge.
I got no idea on this one. I see like a little bit of the glass partition, so it makes me feel like it's, like where you see those glass things that protect the food a little bit, like exactly like a Subway, where it's. There's a couple of places like that. There's a couple salad places like that, which I don't know if they're national though.
Is
like Tender Greens kind of
yeah.
thing.
I've seen them a couple of different places, but I tend to travel in bi-coastal, so that doesn't mean anything. That I saw it in New York and New Jersey and in California. The rest of the country, that's not the rest of the country. It may not be, it may not be in Iowa, may not be in Ohio and Idaho.
Yeah, I think Subway's a pretty good guess. I think that's Subway or Chipotle. Chipotle does have that too, where you walk. They got that glass.
All right, here's the answer.
Chipotle. Nice.
And I actually think Chipotle was one of the first of the chains to come to feature this sort of contemporary mixed wood and metal look, because all of the Chipotles I've ever seen from back in the late 90s had that kind of industrial look to the interiors, where it was just like raw wood on a metal frame kind of design.
Yeah. And these ones even have a little sound. Those ones have sound baffles up there, which is nice. On the last one, on the Chipotle one. Okay.
Yeah,
See those little
the
sound
ceiling.
baffles. That's nice.
Yeah,
Nice little
that's
touch.
a good catch. Of course, as an architect, you'd notice that.
And keeping them, keeping down the noise.
And that's a
Cool. What we got
problem
here?
when you have all of these hard surfaces and open space,
Really
is you
is.
get a lot of echo and it just amplifies the noise.
Got to get a wall somewhere or a ceiling somewhere to suck up the sound.
All right, Panera, Shake Shack, Dairy Queen. That would be interesting to see Dairy Queens looking like this.
That would be a really upscale Dairy Queen.
Who knows?
That'd be a big bold move for Dairy Queen. That'd be cool.
What's your guess, Matt?
Mustard fries, hot dogs. Shake Shack.
Now, what bothers me is that D is messed up. I want to fix that.
They got the burger, the ice cream, and the fries up there, and the hot dog. Also sells a hot dog. I'll go with Shake Shack too.
All right, and that's correct.
Oh, boom! All right, nice.
Yeah,
they make a decent shake. It's a decent shake.
Yeah, and I actually like their burgers. They're overpriced for small burgers, but they're tasty burgers. The only thing I don't like, maybe they've changed it, but their fries were terrible. They're just really bland and not very crispy.
Yeah. With the fear of hate mail or the fries at In-N-Out, you got to tell them to cook them twice. They do. They're glad to do it. You got to tell them to make them crispy.
I tell them well done. Now,
well done.
And that's so for you folks out there who've never eaten it In-N-Out, when you get to them, ask for it. Ask for well done or extra crispy fries.
Don't want the limp fries.
All right, so Sonic.
Oh wow. Man, Sonic, I haven't been to Sonic in years. I love Sonic. Which I also associate with the South.
Oh yeah. Starbucks.
Ooh. Oh yeah, Starbucks. I agree.
Okay. Anybody else want to get a guess in there before we go? Jimmy John. All right, here's the answer. Starbucks.
It was the drinks that gave it away because their drinks are kind of stacked like that. But yeah, but the design's nice and clean. And
they kind of also were one of the early adopters of this from the mid to early 90s when they first introduced them or went national from my recollection.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, there we go.
Speaking of, for those of you, this one is I wanted to sort of cleanse the palate, just show how different this more traditional looking burger joint is to all the ones we've seen so far. And got In-N-Out, and this is not really so much for the quiz, but here's an interesting thing, and that this is what I was hoping for. Five Guys. And that is, and this is In-N-Out, but the reason why I was waiting for this answer is because it looks like a Five Guys, because Five Guys ripped off the interior look of In-N-Out as a direct inspiration. But to be fair, a lot of traditional burger joints had this color scheme. Red and white were very common colors, white especially, with the oldest fast food chain is White Castle, and they went with white because at the time fast food was considered suspicious, and the quality, the cleanliness of the food that you're getting in places you drive into, people were concerned about the quality and cleanliness of the food, and that's why they went with white as a color for cleanliness and sanitation. But they also used red as sort of the counterpoint color, and that's why you see red in a lot of fast food brands, McDonald's, Burger King. There's red in there along with yellow. But so red and white is a very common color, but with diners as well. Now, getting back to the fries for a second, as you're mentioning, Matt, one of the things about the In-N-Out fries is they use a different potato than everybody else does for their fries, and and that's why you're absolutely right. You need to ask them to double fry or they're extra fry them, because it's a little mealier kind of tasting when they're standard. And sometimes you luck out and the whoever's working on them will fry them up a little bit crispier, but sometimes they'll just pull it a little bit too early, and it's kind of like eating dehydrated mashed potatoes.
Right. They're under rush. They're under some pressure back there. Those kids. There's some nice hardworking kids back there, but they're moving.
What's great about them is they make them fresh. Where there's a lot of McDonald's and everybody else uses frozen potatoes, but if you go to just practically In-N-Out, you can see them working at the back. I'm describing it for everybody who maybe never been to the In-N-Out or watching the show. You see the machine that they have, this sort of hand crank thing. They put this potato, the spud in there, and they just guillotine this thing and create the fries right there. So you know that you're getting fresh potatoes. But I heard from one of the guys who worked on it was at Ogilvy and Mather advertising in LA, and they were the agency of record for In-N-Out for quite a number of years, at least back in the 80s and 90s when I was at Art Center at school. And one of my teachers worked at Ogilvy and Mather and told us about advertising. And In-N-Out really doesn't do that much advertising, some radio, some billboards, but he said that the reason their fries tasted so unusual is because they use a special potato, but the reason they picked that potato is because it was the cheapest. It's cheaper than regular potatoes. So they actually use a very low grade potato.
So maybe when you go to In-N-Out, you bring your own potatoes. You just give the guy your Yukon Gold. You're like, oh, here's my Yukon. Please fry this baby up for me.
So In-N-Out fries says Portia Speech says taste like potato chips. Yeah, especially if you get them extra crispy. Yeah, they'll taste kind of like potato chips. Pick says no In-N-Outs or Shake Shacks around here, but I always wanted to try them. Portia Speaker says I heard that too.
That's right. They moved to Franklin. They moved the headquarters to Franklin.
That's not far from where your sisters are, right?
That's right. It was very close, and they're going to. That's their headquarters, so I imagine they must be moving. And I think they put a big distribution hub in Texas, so I think they are planning on moving east, which is a great market. Of course, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I don't blame them. The California, the business climate. Well, you know this, and I'm sure. Moving from the back east over to here, and from your clients and everything, just the business climate in California has just changed drastically in the last 30 years.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. I think people are starting to wake up to that. Maybe
hopefully
maybe the pendulum will swing the other way for a little bit. That'd be nice.
Now I want to wrap up this quiz with just a couple of images here. Does anybody know where this is? And this is, if you don't, it's probably because this is the first one of this. And if anybody knows the answer to this, I'll be shocked. But
you say asking where is it, or which store is it?
Which fast food chain is this? And I believe that's a reference to In-N-Out. Pick says no clue.
Yeah, goodness, I feel like that sign's a clue, but I'm not getting anything from the architecture, the lights, the color schemes. I'm not really. It's a little bit of orange back there. There's some yellow lights hanging down. Yeah, I don't know, Tom.
Okay, and this is a new chain called Holler and Dash. And the reason why I picked this one is because this is the new fast food spin-off of Cracker Barrel. At least this is their prototype. I believe this is in Nashville, is what I saw
Oh.
the article. So they're trying this out. I don't know how that exactly works though, as a spin-off concept, because from it's not going to be the same menu exactly. But
No
yeah,
chicken fried steak for you? No,
I,
on the go. Chicken fried steak on the go.
that would be interesting.
Right?
Has anybody made a chicken fried steak sandwich?
Tomorrow, I think I'm going to try it. I'm going to figure that out. And hey, we're going into business, Tom. We're going to crack it. You're going to make the logo and the marketing's all you.
Yeah, I'd like the flavor profile, but that's going to be super messy with the gravy.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to be a BYOP. Bring your own potato. So we'll fry up whatever potato you bring.
There we go. I like that concept right there. So, and I had your, I had your little blurb there. So, getting back to the restaurants, what's your take as to why everybody's looking the same? Is it because they're sourcing for the same folks, or are they saying, or is it an interior design or architectural trend? What's going on?
I think kind of a lot of the things we hit on today. I think there's a little bit of a cheapness on the finishes. I think there's a labor cost savings things to have things quick, easy to move and open up so you can mop them and move quickly through them. I think there's also this desire to have like a similarity thing to like my teenager who's now off in college, but like he was getting ads and coupons to McDonald's. So him and his buddies would roll over to McDonald's and they could game the system a little bit and get a ton of food for like $4. So I think once they kind of like have Pavlov dog, once they had trained you to like kind of like respond in that, I think all of them wanted to be pretty similar. So like if you could operate McDonald's, you could operate Wendy's, you could operate Burger King. So it felt like if you could play one video game, you could play all the video games. I felt like there was something like that going on, but they did a pretty good job on pumping those coupons out to the kids while they're at school. So that's kind of like was one of their destinations afterwards. So there was a little bit of that. So between labor finishes, and then just sort of like kind of this ubiquitous like kind of similarity that they're all the same. And then there was that kind of, I think there's always like the kind of the warmness and the connectivity kind of feeling was kind of driving a lot of it. And I think there's like kind of this modern feel, like where it's almost kind of coffee shop where you could sit down and open your laptop and get some work done. I think that was kind of the feel that they're trying to go for. I could see someone probably doing that. Like I've not really seen it, but I like other than these old guys who used to live in my neighborhood, these like 80-year-olds used to get together at McDonald's like before Starbucks. That was their thing. They would get there, and then Starbucks came and they never switched over. They're just like they kind of had their business meetings at McDonald's. Just a bunch of old guys. It was cool, but I could almost see them wanting to come back, but I couldn't see like parking yourself at McDonald's for a couple hours while you did some work. But I get the feeling they almost want you to feel like you could.
I did once, out of necessity, because I believe it was they do have free Wi-Fi.
Okay.
And all of the I knew that the Starbucks that was nearby, it was just packed with folks on their laptops. It was like impossible to find an outlet. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go to McDonald's. And I ended up sitting there with my laptop. And the hard part was they didn't have a lot of plugs. So I found the one table near a plug on the wall, I guess, that they use for a vacuum or whatever. But that's the only reason. I think that's the biggest reason why you don't see a lot of folks nowadays spending as much time in McDonald's, even if it does look more like a Starbucks now.
Right. I might try it. I might try to be a train setter. But you know, one thing when I've tried to do work in Starbucks, I've always ended up sitting somehow under a speaker. And that drives me out too. So, and I almost feel like that's intentional. They kind of want you there for a little bit. They want to turn you over though. So, yeah. So
that was one of the theories, or at least one of the things that I'd always heard. I don't know if it's prophetic or not about McDonald's from the old style, that it was kind of uncomfortable. The seats weren't super comfortable.
They weren't comfortable.
But precisely because they didn't want people to really spend that much time in there. They wanted them to just eat and go.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense. The cold restaurant theory, right?
Now, as you're designing places that are like high tech, are you finding their sort of reception lounges are looking the same way in all these places?
Yeah, they spend more money on the finishes, of course. As you might imagine, they want people to feel like they're being pampered. I mean, all this stuff is for recruitment. So the lounges, the gyms, all that sort of stuff they bring in, it's all very high end. Well, thank you, Portia's Pizza. Appreciate it. They're high end finishes in there, and but they actually I'm going to tell you about this one that we did. I won't tell you the name because I don't think I can.
Okay.
But you would appreciate this. They actually have a jam session, while you're at your cafeteria, you can get up and there's a microphone, a drum set, a bass guitar, a guitar, and they're like, it's a Fender Jazz, it's a Strat. It's like a Ludwig, it's like the top of the line. And you put on your cans in front of the whole place, and you can either jam with people who won't step up and jam, or you can just play to yourself. And these are like really nice finishes and services, and so it's like jam rooms and like all sorts of stuff that would keep like an employee who wants to play music on their off time.
This is the sort of the employee lounge, or is this the reception area?
Straight enough, this was in the cafeteria. So if you wanted to go jam, you could actually walk up, and it was obviously like you could put on a performance if you want, but you could also just put on the cans and hit the button. It was so easy to use. You could hit the button and just play to yourself. Like if you wanted to just go in your own ears, or you wanted to put it in a speaker. So that was a pretty cool feature. And plus they had you go to the gym and it's nothing but Pelotons, like 30 of them, like big screen TVs, probably is incredible places. So yeah, those finishes are really high end. I mean, the concept is the same, but the finishes are nicer.
Did you actually see anybody jamming in the cafeteria?
Just me, of course. Right? I was trying to get anyone to join me, but
well, I would have if I was there.
Yeah, I know you would have. I have no doubt.
So we had such a great time. This is a great episode, and I think Portia said right there, great guest. I would love to have you on again to talk about the project.
Incarceration.
Yeah. Well, aside, we got to do just a separate episode about the young Matt
about the Atlanta prison system.
But I'm very cognizant of your time. You're as a working man, as the head of your own architectural firm. I'm not going to ask for any more of your time tonight.
Oh, this is so fun, Tom. It's so fun to catch up and
but
love
I want
to your family.
Yeah, absolutely. Before you go though, I want to get your assistance in picking the winner for the contest here. And I'm just going to ask everybody is interested in winning the prize. I'm going to be giving away 3 of these. I'm going to give away one of these to you. So one of these is heading your way. It's from
nice.
Evic. It's it's their airsoft sack, and I'll put a few more goodies in here from Evic as well. So here's the contest. I'm going to bring this up. Oh, by the way, there's another contest online. I may not have actually posted this yet because it's been kind of crazy.
That's cool.
But the new contest for this month, and I forget, it's already, I forgot to post it up because it's already the October. You have an opportunity this month to win this FRS radio adapter that clips on to Howard Light Impact Sports headsets or Pro Hear headsets, because Pro Hear is pretty much compatible with Howard Lights. So if you have Howard Light Impact Sports headsets or Pro Hears, you can clip this unit on and convert it into an FRS GMRS two-way radio. So it's a cool little device, great for use at the range, or if you're going to go out hunting or anywhere, you have a FRS GMRS headset, and you go all the channels. So you have an opportunity to win this. Just go to my website at moondogindustries.com/contest. And let me just put I'll post up a link to that in the side chat right now. So go and find that out. Right now, actually, check out tomorrow, because I might still have the old contest, which was the giveaway for the 60 power scope. So if you see that the scope giveaway, don't bother entering if you haven't already, because the deadline was yesterday. Okay. And also on my website is the fundraiser that I'm putting on for my son's middle school. And let me just put the link for the fundraiser here. You can put a donation in, a suggested donation, and you can get one of the items that I've posted up here in the yard sale. In this case, this week, I've posted up a 2000 lumen weapon light, rifle light, that is also a combination foregrip, wedge foregrip, and 2000 lumen light from Monstrum. This is the Monstrum Raider X1, and you can get this by just donating to the yard sale, and that is for the St. Anne Middle School's trip to DC next year. All right, here's the final clue for the mystery brand. This oh, sorry, that's the wrong clue. Sorry, that was for last week. All right, so let me just give you the verbal clue for this mystery brand, and that is that this brand was started by two brothers named McDonald in Southern California, I believe Riverside, California, and it wasn't until Roy Kroc joined the company in the 1950s did it blow up. He brought in the whole concept of franchising, and it's now, I believe, the second largest. I think Subway's technically has more restaurants because they're smaller profile. That may not be the case since they're also going through some financial issues. But this mystery brand, if you know who this is, put in hashtag in their name, and you'll be automatically entered into the contest. So we do have 4 entries. Let me bring up the screen to choose the winner. So it's your last chance to win the prize. Just put hashtag in the name on the side there. And let me bring up the giveaway tool. So here we go. The mystery brand is McDonald's, and we have 4 entries.
How did I miss that one?
All right, Matt, why don't you go ahead, give me a countdown, and I'll press the draw button. We'll see who's one of the 3 winners.
All right, unos, dos, tres.
Go. All right. Who's going to be the winner tonight? Jesse. All right.
Jesse, nice. So you got a little. Is that a randomizer?
Yeah. So it looks. It's hooked up with the streaming software, so it looks for you type in a string, and if people match the string that I've preset, the characters, in this case it's hashtag McDonald's, then they're automatically entered into the randomizer.
Cool.
All right, so let's draw again. Let's see, we got 2 more winners. So second winner is going to be Porsche Speedster.
Nice.
All right.
Porsche, way to go, Porsche Speedster.
And our
beautiful
final
car, by the way.
Yeah. Final winner is going to be, is it going to be Vadim or Pick? Vadim or Pick? Vadim. All right.
Sorry, Pick. You'll get one another day.
Next week. All right. Well, thank you, Matt. Thanks, and we'll work out a schedule for the next time you come on. Your choice whether you want to tell the
for sure, definitely
tell the Atlanta. Yeah, every time we mention Atlanta to the kids, like, I have to tell the story.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, definitely. We'll make it. But we talk about anything, man. It was great to catch up, and great to see you. And give my love to the family, and we'll do it again.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you to Matt Brady, and we'll see you guys next week. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Yeah. God bless.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Moondog out. Hey, I'd like to know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment or chat with me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, MeWe, Instagram, or Locals. And if you want to see all of my videos, go to moondogindustries.com.